All right, so we've been asked to write a program that draws these 3 vertical lines of stars on the screen. And the user is controlling how many spaces are between the stars and how many vertical stars we actually need. Okay. So we will use a loop to print each row. Okay. And then inside that loop, we're going to need to print a star and then have a loop to print these spaces here, and then print another star, and then another loop to print those spaces there, and then just print another star, and then that outside loop loops that code however many times we need it to go down the screen. So we'll go into our IDE and we can start that off. So we need 2 numbers from the users. We need the number of rows. Let's say enter rows. Oops, I need input. Okay, and we need a number of spaces. All right. So those are the 2 values I need from the keyboard. So I need an outer loop that just counts as however many times we have rows. So maybe I'll use a while loop. So while row is less than number of rows, and then I will have a row counter that just goes up by 1 every time. So in my loop, so what is repeating every time is there's a star. Okay, then there's spaces, and then there's a star, and then there is spaces, and then there's a final star. Okay, so that's what has to happen because that's printing itself over and over and over again. So printing of the star is pretty straightforward. So we just print the asterisk, and I still need the end equals here because I need to print all on one line all at a time. Okay. So I can copy that into these 3 spots, and in between them I have to print the number of spaces. So that's just another loop that is going to just execute the amount of times that the user entered, so num space. So we'll just use a while loop again. So while so spaces is the counter, num spaces is the total. So while spaces is less than num space, okay, we will just print a space. Okay, and at the end of that print, we do not want to go to the next line because we want to print the star on the same line. Okay, and then just increase. All right. And that code here is the exact same as what would go here because there's the same amount of spaces between both sets of stars. Okay. So let's see if that is working out. So if I enter 4 rows and 2 spaces between them, what did I do? Okay. Well, it looks pretty, but it's not right. Okay, so I forgot to down here print the new line, go to the next line. So 2 choices. After I print this star here, I don't actually need the end equals because I want it to go down to the next line. So let's try that again. There we go. All right. So kind of hard to see. Is there 2 spaces or more than 2 spaces in between there? I guess if I really wanted to check, what I should do is instead of printing just a space, I could print like a different character, just to check. Okay. So there are 2 spaces in there, or let's see if I 5 enter. 7, so let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that does seem to be working correctly. All right. It's hard to count spaces, so that's a good tip. Just print another character there so you can tell what is exactly going on, right, in your final solution. All right, so 2 and 8. There we go. So there's our vertical line of stars separated by a certain amount of spaces entered by the user.